Okay, so this is obviously not the most optimal environment in which to be creating a Stronghold Digital Mining daily update, but I've got to work with what I've got at the moment. So I wanted to provide more of an operational update, given the fact that we've been obsessing so much over the stock price during the week, right? So I did some number crunching, and what I discovered is kind of interesting. So as you probably already know, and if you don't, that's okay. This is all part of the learning process. So, Stronghold Digital Mining, right? We have two power plants in the state of Pennsylvania, and both those power plants connect to something called the PJM grid. So when it is mathematically advisable for us to do so, right? When it makes economic sense for us to do so, the electricity we generate at our power plants, both Scrubgrass and Panther Creek, we can actually sell that electricity to the grid. So let's start there, okay? So when it comes to selling electricity to the grid, there's a grid price, right, for both the zone in the grid where Scrubgrass, our Western Pennsylvania power plant, is located, and then there's a grid price for essentially the eastern part of Pennsylvania where our Panther Creek power plant is located. So the PJM-Penelec portion of the grid, on average for the month of April, okay, has been $26.78. Now the PJM-PPL portion of the grid has averaged $24.36, and that's basically from around April 1st through around 4 o'clock this afternoon, April 15th. So put those two grid prices together, average it out, we get about $25.57. Here's the thing. We have the ability to do more than just sell our electricity to the PJM grid. We can take that electricity and then we could route it to our data centers. There's a data center where Scrubgrass is located. There's also another data center where Panther Creek is located. And both those data centers contain Bitcoin mining machines. So we can actually use the electricity that we produce to mine Bitcoin, okay? Now, for the month of April so far, our Bitcoin priced in dollars per megawatt hour have averaged $84.22. So here's the deal. Our projected net cost of power, starting in Q1 2023, which is the quarter that just ended, was being guided towards right between $45 and $50 a megawatt hour. Let's assume that we are currently on the high side. Let's just say we're at $50 a megawatt hour. So that is our cost to produce electricity. There is an incredibly nice margin to be had if you're producing electricity at $50 a megawatt hour and then turning around and selling it on average for over $84 a megawatt hour, right? Which is our Bitcoin price in dollars per megawatt hour average so far for the month of April. Now, we can also do something that's pretty clever and kind of neat. We can idle our power plants, okay? Just produce the bare minimum of electricity at the power plants, and then in turn, import power, the cheaper power from the grid. So if grid prices are averaging around $25 a megawatt hour so far for the month of April, hey, here's an idea. Why don't we just import that cheaper electricity from the grid, turn around and then use that electricity to power our data centers and capture that incredibly lucrative profit, right? That incredibly lucrative revenue opportunity that exists between the numbers 25 and 84 on average, right? So that's an opportunity as well. So either way, from an operational perspective, we have the ability to generate a lot of useful revenue. Okay, so that's really cool. Now, interestingly, the network hash rate, the Bitcoin network hash rate, has so far during the month of April averaged around 344. That is a bit on the higher side, but it's still worth pointing out the fact that Bitcoin priced in dollars per megawatt hour at 84 is, again, that's very high compared to our projected net cost of power of between $45 and $50 a megawatt hour, and certainly as compared to average grid prices of around $25 a megawatt hour. So either way, from an operational perspective, we so far in the month of April, right? This is the very beginning of Q2, second quarter 2023. The opportunity has really been remarkable for us to generate very, very useful revenue. That's going to be it for now. I admit this is a very awkward environment in which to be doing this, but I'm committed to doing this. So, hopefully you had a good day. Hopefully you're able to stay great, stay positive. Tomorrow, depending on the weather, very violent weather here today, I might add, but depending on the weather tomorrow, we might do a field trip to Panther Creek. No promises, but we might do that. Okay, see you then.